Previously on that Cthulhu, John.
I think that was a handwritten bit of a diary or, something of the like by the artist. This thing could actually be cursed.
Suddenly you think there's mystical forces at play.
I called my job. They said that I could come in tomorrow if I felt up to it.
I hang out the window.
Sure enough, you see Skinny Joey there. You're going to be carrying, not exactly legal stuff today.
I got a nosy cop that was trying to check the back at the way station.
How about you just forget about the whole art gallery thing and just give me the statue?
My dear Millie, your theories were confusing to me, so we should probably use the bones to do a reading. You are both in grave danger.
And she starts to clutch at her chest a little bit. She goes, I am feeling weak.
Welcome to that Cthulhu, John.
Hello, thanks for joining us for That Cthulhu, John, episode 10. We made it to 10, guys.
How about it? Hey.
We are a real play called Cthulhu podcast. I am George, your keeper of arcane lore. And with me are my friends and investigators, Chad.
What's up?
Chuck. And Jenny.
What's up?
I fucking hate you guys. I hate you guys so much. Okay, so last we left off, Heather and Aunt Millie were at Miss Selena's psychic on South, which of course is not on South. And Miss Selena started grasping at her chest. Millie and Heather, you see her start to kind of look weaker, and she starts falling down to her knee.
Oh shit! All right, I jump up and try to grab her.
Okay, you kind of hold her up a little bit.
Yeah.
And she goes, she's gripping her chest. She goes, the pills.
Where are your pills? Where are they?
She goes,
What pills?
she says, get Teresa, tell her the pills. And all of her body weight just collapses on you.
Oh shit! I start screaming, Teresa! Teresa!
And then that little woman comes in back through the beaded curtain. She goes, yeah, what's going on?
I should not see it. She
Help!
She needs her pills.
As she's coming through the beaded
Okay.
curtain, she's screaming, "What's going on? What's going on?" And she sees her on the floor. And what did you say?
She needs her pills. Something
She goes,
about
"Oh my
pills.
god! Oh my god!" And you see her run back through the beaded curtains. This time, the beads kind of slap backwards and come back with a lot of force, the same force that she went through them with. And after about a minute, she comes back through the door. But in that minute, you're holding her, and Miss Selena looks up to you, and she goes, "Your aunt, she is cursed." And then you see her eyes close shut, and she falls lifeless.
Could Millie hear her say that? Or just I could because I'm under her and her big butt?
Only you could. She was kind of whispering it. And Teresa comes back through the curtains with the pills, and she goes, "Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god." And she starts trying to shove it into Miss Selena's mouth. She goes, can you call 911 or something? The phone's in the other room.
Yeah, absolutely. And I run in to the desk, I guess, and call.
Give me a spot hidden.
911. Oh, I always fail these fucking spot hidden. That's what I end up fucking falling at the hospital.
You were drunk.
Fucker. 83.
All right, after you're looking around for a little bit, we'll say it takes you about a minute to find the phone. It doesn't sound like a lot of time, but right now that is a lot of time. Find the phone, call 911. 911 says that they're going to send out ambulance right away. And as you come back in, it doesn't look good. Miss Selena's on the floor. Doesn't look like she's breathing, but the little person woman is giving her CPR right now.
What can I do? Like, how can I help? But the ambulance is coming.
She says, you've called 911. You've done what you can.
Should I stay here? Do you want me to go outside and wait for the ambulance?
She says, can you do what I'm doing?
I think I can. I took a class.
Do you have first aid?
I do.
Roll that first aid.
That's right. Stabilize this gal. Come on, you can't fail this one. No pressure, but this one's super important.
I know, and I don't have like that many points in it.
You can spend luck to pass.
Whoa.
Come on, critical.
Uh-oh. What'd you roll?
You jinxed it.
Fucking 97.
What do you have? What do you have in your
You murdered that woman.
I have 40.
40?
Well, you could push it.
Can I push it?
Not on the critical fail.
No.
Yeah.
I think you might have pushed it too much.
You hear something crack as you're giving her CPR.
You kidding
Nope.
me?
You hear something crack as you're
Don't
giving
do
her
this to me,
CPR. You're like,
Reader.
oh my god. And Teresa turns back around and says, what's wrong? She hears you say, oh my god.
I don't know. I think I might have cracked her rib.
She goes, oh no. And she comes back and she goes, just get out of here. Would you direct the ambulance here when you see them pull up, okay?
Okay, I'm so sorry.
They're probably looking on South Street.
You should have named your business better.
So you
Fuck.
see the ambulance start to pull up in a couple minutes, and they go in and they grab the woman and put her up on a stretcher, put her in the car. Do you say anything to the ambulance people, to the EMTs?
Yeah, I should probably just tell them, like, I think I cracked her rib. I tried to give her CPR. Is she coherent? Can I talk to her for 1 second? I just have a question for her.
She seems completely unconscious, and they say, you might have done more harm than good. And they load her up on the ambulance, and they drive off. And Teresa's just standing there looking real worried, and she looks over to you and she goes, oh, I just hope everything's going to be okay. What did she say to you?
Is Millie close to me?
Millie's kind of like off. In
Okay.
fact, she's standing by her car right now. She's like, we should get out of here.
Annoyed by the whole thing.
Yeah. She's like, we should get out of here.
I'm like, she just keeled over and told me that my aunt is cursed and then passed out.
Teresa looks at you and she says, you should heed her warning. And then turns around and just goes into the shop.
Wait, but what do you mean? What do you... Should I not ride back with her?
She doesn't answer you. She just closes the door.
Okay. I guess I go up to Millie and say, it's not usually like that.
She said that was a real experience. God, I mean, I didn't believe in it, but I hope the woman's okay. That didn't seem like part of the show to me.
Millie, it's not a show. She knows things about people. She can see things about them.
He says, well, I mean, all that she told me was stuff that you told her. I mean, come on. You got to use your head, Heather.
I don't want to do this right now. There might have killed that woman, but you're being so cynical.
She goes, I'm sorry, Heather. You're right. It shouldn't be acting that way at a time like this. Do you want to ride home?
Yeah. Can you just drop me off at the fireside?
She says, yeah, sure, I can do that. And you guys hop in her car. As you're driving, you look over at your Aunt Millie, and she's like, hey,
Do you want something to eat? I'm starving.
I mean, if you want to stop at like a drive-through or something, I'm not really hungry, but
She goes, well, I'm just famished right now. Yeah, let's go to a drive-through. And you guys go to drive-through burger place again. And again, she orders this time 3 double cheeseburgers, and and as she's driving you down to the fireside, she's eating it like she's hasn't eaten in days. She's absolutely ravenous.
did you eat today, Millie?
Making lots of gross noises.
Have you eaten today? Is this the first time you ate?
Through chewing and with food in her mouth, she kind of says to you, She says, don't worry about it, Heather. I've just had a healthy appetite lately. I've been through a lot, okay? And I guess I'm dealing with it through food.
That's fine. Everybody copes the way they do, but I want to think that I'm like leaning very close to the passenger window because she is freaking me out
All
now.
right, so you're like leaning away from her.
Yeah, kind of like holding on to that like oh shit bar,
Okay.
like that you like hang clothes on. Like
She houses those burgers in less time than she should. But by the time you get there, she has finished them. And she kind of drops you off. And when she drops you off, she says, bye, Heather. Are you working tonight, or?
No, I'm just gonna stop off and
Says, oh, okay.
talk to Sal. Maybe just have a drink.
Maybe I'll come and have a drink with you.
Oh, okay. I didn't really know you.
Would that be weird? I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I'd love to have a drink with you. I'm sure you need to process what just happened too. You can meet my boss.
Says, oh, yeah, that sounds great. So Millie comes in with you, and she takes one look around the place, and she kind of goes, Heather, maybe some other time. I don't really feel like a drink right now. In fact, you live around here, right? Just in case I'm ever in the area again. Is there anywhere good to eat around here?
I mean, there's a cheesesteak place a couple blocks down.
Okay, all right. I'm just saying if I'm in the area again some other time,
Are you hungry right now?
No. Psychology roll.
Psychology roll, Nick?
No, I don't think you need a psychology roll on that one, honestly.
Oh, okay.
I think you know.
But I'm like, oh, well, I mean, I totally understand. If you're not comfortable here, you can, I get it. You're probably so tired from your first day at work. I'll talk to you later.
He says, okay. And she turns back out the door and leaves. Okay, so that takes us to about 9 for Heather. 9 at night on Wednesday. Okay. Walter, what's you doing in that time frame after you get done work?
Probably would have wanted to check in with Officer O'Shaughnessy. Was it? The gentleman I talked to before.
Officer Shaughnessy.
Shaughnessy, okay. I thought there was an O in there. Either him... Oh, wait a minute. Actually, wait. I should back it up a little. Before I even go there. Do my bosses know anybody who is a lawyer or in the field of law who might be able to give me some advice over the phone?
Headley and Theodore do know lawyers, but they're mostly like real estate lawyers.
Well, I guess then it would be to Officer Shaughnessy then.
Call the Balkenwood police station and they put you through. After a couple transfers, you hear Shaughnessy, what can I do for you?
Hey, Officer Shaughnessy, this is Walter Pendergast. We had spoken the other day about a situation of receiving or potentially receiving stolen goods.
Yeah, that's right. You were at the auction, correct?
Yeah, that's where we met, exactly. I just had a few follow-up questions because of what you had advised me originally. I did check with the owner of the statue, and they do have documentation that they received abstract artwork, but it doesn't go into detail as to the specifics of the piece. I guess I just wanted to check. I mean, does that help at all, or is that too vague to be of much use in a situation like this? Regardless, I'm going to return it, but...
He says to you, I don't think that will be sufficient evidence to prove. It's not quite specific enough. It doesn't happen to mention like the artist's name or anything like that.
No, it's pretty vague. Just says abstract artwork. I'm going to read it off verbatim.
Says, well, if you have the person who claims to own it and you have that, even then, I really don't think you have a leg to stand on, honestly.
What a world we live in.
I know it's unfortunate, but nothing that we can do about it without any real proof.
Well, maybe one step further, if I were to find some evidence of the person the statue was inherited from, might that change things? I mean, this has been in the family for some time, so there may be a picture or something of the uncle who gave it to her with this statue originally.
And says, yeah, that could be. If you can get documentation of that and we could follow the paper trail, that might lead us to some sort of conviction.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's a long ways out, but, you know, I do appreciate the legal advice on this matter. As I mentioned, I'm going to return the statue to the people who hired me to repair it. After that, you know, it's more a matter of who ends up with it next, I suppose, but I guess I'll advise the person who brought it to my attention and go from there. Gosh, that really stinks without proper documentation, the limitations of what you can do. But either way, thank you very much, Officer Shaughnessy.
Says, yeah, glad I could be of help. Hangs up with you.
Walter just kind of takes a moment of quiet reflection there and seems a little disappointed because that certainly doesn't help his case. So he's going all on charm here, I guess.
I was going to ask, I mean, this is, obviously my character doesn't know anything about this, but I mean, there has to be something else in the paper, right? I mean, is it like notarized? They made her sign something for some reason, so I mean, is there like a bank or a law office listed on the letterhead?
There's a law office listed on it.
You know, it has to lead somewhere, I'm sure.
Yeah.
When they said follow the paper trail, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, there's a law office that is at the top of the paper.
Oh, it's under this piece of tape. Look at that.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess we'll have to follow up on that, but, you know, time's a waste in the sense that he's only got a few hours till he's planning to return this thing, so I guess before the end of the day, I just kind of make sure everything's ready for transit, make ready for the meeting. I probably wore some slightly nicer clothes today just because I can't be completely outdone by Miss Vanessa Bellagrosa and her pantsuits.
I don't know if you can compete with Vanessa
Yeah,
Bellagrosa.
nah.
There's no way.
She sounds like a hottie. She's the big gold belts and her leotards.
Matching glasses. Oh, man.
Better spend the afternoon at Winemakers if you want to compete with that.
Ooh, montage.
80s montage.
Oh, is there a guy on a Vespa with a mannequin on the back? And what they had was special.
Does anything of any interest happen at the workday? Anybody coming with any good books or anything of interest? Any calls from antique buddies?
We're going to say that your day goes through without much happening until... What time do you close up?
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. Around 8 o'clock, there's a guy that comes in and he asks you, do you buy books here? Do you buy used books?
Sometimes, if they're in good shape or of any historical note. What do you have, if I may?
Says, just some real old encyclopedias and some leather-bound stuff. I'm not exactly sure what I got going on.
Well, I don't know. How many books are we talking about? And what does he have? Is he carrying like a crate of books?
He doesn't have anything with him.
Oh, okay. Well, I suppose if you wanted to bring them by someday when the store's open a little longer, we could take a look and I could give you a good price, or if they're, in good condition, maybe we could negotiate something else.
Says, yeah, sure, sounds good. Give me a psychology roll.
Not very good. 85.
He just kind of seems like he's done with you, and he just kind of leaves. Rest of the day, just, you're about ready to close up. Around 8 o'clock. Theodore and Headley say to you, Walter, if you got something to do tonight, you can go ahead. We'll close up the store.
Oh, okay. That's great. Yeah, maybe I could beat the traffic. Gotta head out to Ballackinwood.
He goes, oh, okay. What you doing out there?
I've got to return a piece of artwork I was hired to repair. Somebody cracked some piece of possibly priceless work.
Headley looks at you. He looks, he kind of raises his eyebrows up, gives a kind of a surprised look, and goes, wow, this is probably the most expensive thing you've worked on, huh?
Yeah. I mean, it's certainly more valuable than a lot of the books and just, random antiques that I find. You guys ever hear of an artist named Chikanovitz? I forget if I had asked. I think I asked you guys once.
Headley perks up right away. He goes, Mikhail Jakanovich?
Yeah, that's the same one.
Says, yeah, surrealist, 1920s through like 40s, something like that, his works are.
Yeah, apparently he disappeared in the 40s.
He goes, oh, really? I didn't know that. I just knew when his works were. I thought maybe he died or something.
Well, that seems to be the mystery. He was imprisoned and apparently never heard from again.
Says, oh, well, I mean, the gulag system over there is pretty brutal. Sometimes they would actually just starve prisoners to death.
Jeez. That's pretty
Sometimes
wild.
worse.
Maybe you'd be interested. I should probably continue out, but there's a copy of something I found recently. If you wanted to take a look over it, it was by Kanovitz himself, to the best of my knowledge. You might find it interesting. It's in Russian.
He gives another surprised and look of surprise and disbelief, and says, "A writing of Jakanovich, or
Well, if it's to be believed, it might be something significant, but I should probably continue on. But I let him know about the rack of papers on my desk. One of them is probably the copy of the scroll.
okay, you have a copy that's in Russian."
Yeah, there's 2 copies that I made of the scroll originally when I found it.
Okay, all right. He goes, "Yeah, I'll go check that out."
Cool. I'll be honest with you, it's a bit of it almost sounds like a page from a horror novel, but I don't know, I might have translated it wrong. You're a bit of more of an expertise in that area. Maybe I missed something, or I don't know. I'll confer with you later. I gotta get it back to the owner.
Says, "Yeah, sure, definitely. I'll check it out. I'll check it out. You know what? Tonight, when we're closing up."
Yeah. Guess knock doors and windows,
Yeah, and I'll close up, and then I'll give it a quick read, and we'll see what we go do from there.
Great. Well, guess I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, have a good one. All right. And you leave there with the Jakanovich statue.
Mm-hmm.
Did you tell your boss to lock the doors and windows?
Yeah.
Nice. Taking charge.
So you drive out to Ballackinwood with the Jakanovich statue.
And scroll.
And scroll. That's right. And you get to the Ventucci Art Gallery. It's spot on the corner on that Main Street type area in Ballackinwood. The front window's still boarded up. Just boards over what was once the big glass front windows. But the door's still intact.
Give it a tug, see if it's locked or open.
It is locked.
All right, give it a rap upon the door then.
Okay. And it opens up, and it is, you see a pair of thick gold rimmed glasses looking at you. And she goes, Mr. Pentagras, yes. Please, come in.
I do.
Okay. As you're walking through, you see that the walls of the place have less artwork on them than before, but it looks like the place is, just kind of getting back to normal, back to repaired.
Okay, so see you've had some work done since I've last been here. I'm sure you'll be up and running in no time.
As you walk by one of the flat Berber type carpets there that was on there, you can see a big stain of blood on there.
Yeah, missed a spot. He mumbles under his breath.
She notices you noticing it, and she says, yes, we are going to be getting new carpets in. The tragedy that happened here, it was just terrible, but, we have to get back to business at some point, yes?
Of course. It's funny you should mention that. We'll have to speak about that a little bit later. I'm fairly certain we're fortunate to have a conversation about this tonight. I'm pretty excited. I think I have something you'll be most pleased with.
So she says, yes, please, let's see the progress that you have on the statue.
Of course. And he unveils it.
And she kind of stares at it for a little bit. Looks like she's staring off through it almost. And she says, yes, it is beautiful.
I say it is something to be held, but there's something I've uncovered in my diligence, as it were.
She says, what's that? And she kind of snaps out of it a little bit. She says, what's that? And she goes over to look at the spot where it was cracked while you're talking.
Say, do you by chance know how to read Russian?
She says, no, I've never learned Russian. It is an ugly language.
Well, I can't exactly speak it, but in the time that I've had this in my possession, I've come to find something that I believe to have been written by Mikhail Jukhanovich himself.
She says, how did you come across this?
Well, as I mentioned before, our great fortune to have this conversation, it was merely luck, if I'm being honest.
It was inside the statue?
There is still something that remains. He says, is there a place we might sit? There's something I'd like you to read.
She says, yes, please, come into my office.
And I do so.
You go into the office in the back. She sits you down in front of her very large, very fancy desk.
So may I call you Vanessa? I feel you can call me Walter. I feel we're on this conversation is a first name kind of thing, if I may.
She says, very well, yes, Vanessa is fine.
I said, Vanessa, I'm fairly excited about this, and I think you will be too.
Says, okay, well, don't hesitate anymore. What is the thing to be excited about?
I feel as though whatever you valued this at before, you can times that by priceless. And he gestures to his bag, and it's just a standard messenger bag. Might look nice, maybe a leather joint, but flaps open the top, and he says, "I'd like you to read what I found inside of this first. I'll go from there."
Okay.
And he gives her the translated version.
Okay. And she looks it down. Takes a couple minutes to read it. She says, if this is true, that would mean that this was made after any of his other works.
Which means he may have lived and survived to create even more works.
No. This cannot get out. It is the limiting of the artwork that makes it valuable. You see, if we suddenly have thousands of Jukanoviches out there, then the ones that we have will not be worth as much, you see.
No. You're missing the big picture. This piece is unique. I assure you, there's no other piece like this. The piece he mentions, the thing that he held in his hand is contained within this artwork. The artwork itself is a shell.
She says,
The true value to this piece is stored inside.
the thing in... He calls it a vile token?
Well, let me ask you another question. Are you a superstitious woman, Vanessa?
No, I do not fall much for black cats and step ladders and what have you.
I gotta say, ordinarily I would agree with you as well. But, the things I've seen since learning about this piece would suggest otherwise. Some of those things, he gestures around to the smashed front window facade and the blood stains we walked by on the way here. Some of these things you've experienced yourself.
She looks at the statue again and just kind of stares at it from her seat at her desk. And she says, you'd say that the statue may be to blame for the animal attack that we had here.
Well, much like you, I'm not a very superstitious person. And he sits back in his chair and relaxes a little bit. He says, but if this story is to be believed, and I can at least vouch for whatever token this paper references here to be inside, if this were spun the right way, the value for this thing could be, it could be unprecedented. He's already hot just because of all the buzz lately surrounding this piece, but, if it were sold before, oh, yeah, I guess people would realize. Well, as the curator of these fine works of art, I guess that's a decision you might have to make. I assure you, there's no way to obtain what's inside here without destroying the piece itself.
She says, maybe we should not mention what is inside the statue. It is probably our superstition anyway. He speaks of encasing in iron to stop from. This is stuff of fairies.
Well, there is more to the story. How much time do you have?
She says, well, I have tonight.
He says, do you remember when I first came to the gallery, I had questions about the value of Jekanovich artwork?
She says, yes, I do remember. I do recall.
Well, as I mentioned then, I was approached by an acquaintance, hopefully a friend, who said she inherited something, a piece of artwork that looks much like this. I suppose,
What is it you are insinuating, Mr. Pendergast?
well, the truth of the matter is, I've realized the less I know about how you acquired this thing is probably the better. But that being said, this is by far the most interesting piece of restoration work I've ever completed. And with that said, I'd hope that we had, maybe could work again in the future.
He says, given your expertise and your fine craftsmanship here, I must admit, I think we could work again in the future, perhaps. Now, I believe we had and she reaches into her desk and she pulls out a checkbook and a pen. She goes, I believe I paid you half up front. And she scribbles out a check for $250, which is actually $50 more than she had initially said that she was going to give you.
Nice. I say, I wondered, Vanessa, there is another matter about the acquisition of this piece which I'd hoped to discuss. Given the uncertainty of how it was acquired and this whole superstitious business, I wondered if you might be willing to, what's the word?
Yes, come on, spit it out.
I mentioned to the individual who approached me about this piece originally that I would attempt to broker some sort of arrangement.
What kind of arrangement?
Well, I wondered, the reason I sought you out in the first place was to, try to get my client paid for this piece of artwork. Would you be willing to part with a small portion of the sales so as to maybe shuffle something her way and never have to discuss the awful business of where this came from and who it ever really belonged to?
She says to you, well?
In the interest of good business, of course. It makes no difference to me on a personal level, but, Vanessa, I gotta say, the quality of your wares is far above those who I usually do business with. To say I'm impressed would be an understatement.
She says to you, well, I am flattered, Mr. Pendergast, but as to your inquiry about your friend or acquaintance that has the claim that the Jekanovich is theirs, I am afraid to tell you that we would first have to talk to the private collector who gave this to the Ventucci Art Gallery to begin with.
Well, of course, such knowledge is yours, not mine. I can only trust you know all the proper avenues there.
Yes, of course I do. This is what I do for a living. This is my business. This is my passion.
I'm glad to hear that. Because I have a question for you on a personal level.
He says, what is that?
This Jekanovich work here, I can see you're clearly interested in it. Is it something about the piece itself, or is it just about the money for this particular piece? And he kind of studies it and drifts off for a moment as well.
She says to you, Mr. Pendergast, you do understand that everything comes through here with a $sign on it for me. However, we do occasionally get to see things that marvel even the most jaded of art collectors, and this happens to be one of those pieces.
Yes. He kind of scratches his scraggly little few chin hairs that he has and says, it does seem to transcend the standard things you might see at the art museum, doesn't it? And he kind of drifts off in silence for a few seconds or moments.
Okay.
He might lose track of time for a sec.
Yeah. And she says, will this be all then, Mr. Pendergast?
Unless you have any other pieces of works that were destroyed in the incident. And he kind of looks around 360.
She says, well, we did have some that was damaged beyond repair, I am afraid. But we have new pieces that will be coming in. Luckily, they were insured.
Well, that's good. It is a business after all.
It is.
Well, I suppose your time is valuable, so I'll leave you to it. Thanks for this opportunity and the additional gratitude. And he sleeves the check in his wallet. Says, if there's any other pieces that come your way that I should know about, please don't hesitate.
She says to you, okay, will do, of course.
Should I see myself out? Look around, does it
Please, the door will lock behind you.
Of course. And best of luck with sales.
Thank you, Mr. Pendergast.
He wipes his brow as he walks out of that place. Make sure the door does, in fact, lock behind him.
It does as soon as you close it. As soon as it closes behind you, you go try to open it, and it does not open.
Well then, I am relieved to no longer have any of that stuff. Just to be clear, I left the scroll and the statue. I don't want that stuff.
Okay. You've left all of those artifacts there.
I mean, I still have the translated copy just because,
Right, but all the original pieces are there.
Yeah, all the original stuff.
Okay.
I'm trying to keep my good reputation. You know how it is.
Yeah, I understand.
Try to deal business legitimately. Best I can when I'm dealing with people whom he suspects are kind of shady.
Mm-hmm. All right. So let's go to what Lenny is doing that day. You finished up your run with the drop at the St. Jude. Now you're back. You went back to the depot and you loaded up your next round of things to get delivered, which is back to your regular routes.
Shit, do I have to do that in addition to what I already ran?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be a late one, isn't it?
Yeah.
That dickhead. I hate Skinny.
Daddy says.
Not much choice but to do that. Probably just turn in early anyway because it is just a Wednesday. Still got more days of work.
Yeah.
But after a long shift like that, maybe a nightcap.
So you go to the fireside, maybe?
I mean, might as well. I'll park at home first. I like to walk.
All right. So like you said, it was a late night. You don't get to the fireside till about 9.
It's not too bad, I guess.
And I got there, what, 7?
Yeah. So you've been there drinking for a little bit by the time he gets there. Anything you want to say to Sal or anything before Lenny gets there?
No, I just ask him for a Long Island iced tea because I'm literally like trying to forget that that a psychic just told me my aunt was a demon. And I think Sal has had it, like, I've been reading Sal's horoscope for 4 years now and he doesn't give a shit, so there's no use to tell
Right.
him.
So just kind of have a Long Island iced tea or two, and some of the regulars come in and they're like, "Hey, it's Heather. Get her a drink. She's on the other side of the bar tonight."
Just pounding back 6 or 7 Long Island
Yeah.
iced teas on an empty stomach.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Thanks. I'm just like getting pirate
Yeah.
eye.
So eventually Lenny comes in after a long day of work, and I think, Heather, you might be kind of buzzed by now.
Yeah.
I probably look physically tired. Long day of sitting, it sucks.
Yeah, definitely.
But the walk helped. The brisk walk helped.
Almost going to the slammer.
No, I was fine. What do you mean? So, I'll probably stand when I go and order my drink. Hey there, Heather.
Hey, Lenny!
Hey, look who's on this side of the bar. Hey, you need a drink?
And I have like 5 chips in front of me. No, I think I'm good.
I'll get you next time. Let me get one of those.
I actually slide you to him, like, here, take 2 of these. I'll be here until my shift starts tomorrow.
Put down a 20 for Sal then.
All right. Sal comes over and goes, "Usual there, Lenny."
Yeah, please. Been a long one.
All right. He gives you Coors and a shot of whiskey.
That time and a half though, huh?
Yeah, I wouldn't know anything about it, but I hear it's a good thing.
Pain in the ass.
What do you guys talk about now that you guys are at the bar together?
Hey, how's everything been? How's your rant?
I don't know. Cursed?
I guess you could say that. I don't know. This whole situation is quite crazy.
I don't even mean it like that. I mean, I went to a psychic today,
Oh dear.
and they told me my aunt is cursed.
Christ.
Like, no, you don't understand. It gave her a heart attack. She's cursed.
Your Aunt Millie had a heart attack.
No, the psychic had a heart attack when she looked at my Aunt Millie's bone cup.
It was probably part of the act.
It wasn't.
If you're coming back.
It wasn't. An ambulance came.
What do you say? She'll be open tomorrow morning.
Oh my god, I can't. Oh, I'm telling you, she was in an ambulance. I think she's dead. And then I cracked her ribs. I tried to give her CPR and I broke her rib.
Hey, you got a mean hook.
I mean, I work out.
But yeah, I still killed her. Duh.
Well, that's, you was trying to help us, the thought that counts and all that, right?
Yeah, I suppose.
I'm sure she's fine.
And then all that stuff with Walter and that Russian stuff. And like, what is that?
I don't know. Sounds like a lot of stuff I don't want to be wrapped up in.
Don't you kind of want to see what's in the statue though? You like love it.
I do kind of want to know. I mean, I don't love it. I just...
You said you draw pictures of it.
Sometimes on napkins and stuff when I'm waiting, at diners and... I was going to just put it on my TV, but I was getting poor reception from it, No.
Speaking of TV, it comes around 10 o'clock. We guys are having a couple drinks and everything. 10 o'clock news comes on. They say, top story tonight, Toms River, New Jersey, there was a huge cocaine bust at the St. Jude's of all places. And it comes in, they interview the officers, they see the cops talking, they're standing in front. They got like the big brick like in their hand kind of thing, or like they're smaller bricks, but they got like a handful of these smaller bricks in their hand. And they're like, yeah, these scumbags out there on the street, doing drugs.
Catholics.
Catholics like to party.
They won't stop at anything. They'll even go through a charitable organization like this. Nowhere safe from drugs. And, it goes back and they say that the total haul from the drugs says that the street worth of the cocaine would have been upwards to $500,000.
Jeez, what a world we live in, huh?
So much of that 10%.
Honestly, I just start hysterically laughing because I'm thinking, because I'm so drunk and I'm like, Lenny, can you imagine a bunch of nuns on cocaine?
Slapping everybody with rollers over and over again. Slap, 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 slap.
Sounds like a party for some, I guess. I don't know. Not really my thing.
So how you feeling about that little news blurb there, Lenny?
I'm playing it cool. I'm
You
not.
are playing it cool.
I'm fine about it. I dropped it off. I did what I had to do, and I even gave him fucking warning. So fuck that little prick.
Oh.
He could have warned them. They could have been ready. They could have moved it somewhere. It's not my fault. I delivered it. I dropped it off. I was out of there. I didn't get arrested. End of story.
True.
That sounds like something Skinny Joey has got a problem with now.
Yeah, it sounds like maybe he might try to blame somebody, but good old daddy.
Oh.
He kind of seems to like me right now, so that's good.
For now.
For now.
Messing with his money.
I could use that statue money soon, though. If I
Sweet,
gotta pay
sweet
him back.
statue money.
Yeah, you're gonna want that statue money. It's a lot.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, what a world we live in, huh? Drugs and all that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like in this area, too. I mean, it's not too far away. I can't believe it.
I know. Bears breaking into art museums. You got nuns doing coke.
There was no friggin' bear.
Wait, so you believe it's not a bear? What do you think it is then?
I told you, it was a rather elaborate heist team. It was a man in a costume. It was one of those latex suits.
Even with the story on the news about it happening in the park.
Yeah, they said it was stormy there too. So I don't know if they got a snowblower or something, but some smoke grenades. Who knows?
I think Philadelphia is just cursed.
Oh, that's for sure.
And I ordered 2 more shots.
Yeah. Clink the shots together. Drink them down. Do you guys just drink all night? Go back home at any point?
I think I leave soon. I feel like Sal starts giving me
Yeah.
weird looks like, alright, you gotta work tomorrow.
You're clearly intoxicated.
Plus I'm kind of like a basket case the last 3 times I've been there. I'm like,
That's true.
drunk last time I worked. So, trying to just keep up a good rep. A little bit.
I see dead people.
I only planned on having a nightcap and turning in early. Got to do it again tomorrow.
Okay.
So, give you a walk home first.
Cool.
All right, you walk her home, and you head home too there, Lenny. Lenny, when you get home, you see a flashing red light on your answering machine.
Here we go. And I press play.
And just screaming on the other end is Skinny Joey. He's like, "You fucking prick! What did you do? Did you fucking tell him where you were fucking going? You little asshole! Next time I see you, you're gonna get it fucking hard! You hear me? Fucking hard!" Beep!
Whoops.
Oopsie.
Yeah, you might have fucked up.
I think I did. A little bit. I guess we'll see. Yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to sleep, but
All
do
right.
my best.
All right. So you guys head off to bed. Lenny, you have again probably a real tough time sleeping that night. You got the achita. You're so worried.
Getting major heartburn here.
Yep. But Walter and Heather both sleep through the night pretty easily. Walter, was there anything else you wanted to do that night after you left the art gallery?
No, I think, with business concluded and as far as I know, everything else pretty much wrapped up for the week. For the first time in a little while, maybe things will start to get back to normal. So he probably goes home, makes like some peanut butter toast or something, and has some tea and passes out.
Okay, so we're gonna go to Thursday morning now. Thursday morning, Lenny, you're gonna be up the earliest. You're kind of groggy from not having a lot of good sleep last night.
Definitely gotta make some coffee.
You probably fell asleep like the last 2 hours, and that was about it.
Yeah, isn't always the way.
Yeah, make yourself some coffee and give me a Constitution roll.
Oh shit! I got it exactly 70. That's
Okay.
what my that's on the money. Just passed.
So on the money, you're just barely holding it together right now.
Heard that. He ain't lying.
Yeah. So you head in, pull your big rig around like you usually do. As you pull it up to the docks.
Sweating bullets.
Yeah. So as you pull up to the docks, you see, guys loading shit up on other trucks and everything. You back it into where you normally do, and then you hear, "There he is! There's the fucking prick who lost us $500,000 fucking dollars!"
Step down out of my cabin, hanging my head a little low, I guess.
He goes, "What the hell are you fucking thinking? Telling them where you were going?"
He must have tricked me, boss. Sorry, I didn't realize what I was doing there.
He says, "I can't believe this shit. I can't believe this shit. You, go up to my fucking office right now."
I do so.
Okay. So you head up to his office, and he comes in, and he starts reaming you out, just fucking cursing left and right.
Yeah.
And he says, you probably don't even have a fucking future here anymore. And I mean that mortality-wise as well, you little fucking prick. Then the phone starts ringing. And he goes, hold on. Clicks it. He goes, "Hello?" All right. Puts it down, puts it on speaker. And on the speakerphone you hear, "Can you hear me now?" "Yeah, Daddy, we can hear you. I got Lenny right here." And you hear him go, "Why do you have Lenny in your office?" He says, "Well, Daddy, the whole thing was the bus last night. He told the cop where he was gonna go, and that's how the cop found out." And then you hear from the speaker, "When was the last time you paid off the Jersey police, Joey?" And you see Joey's face kind of fall a little bit, and he starts counting on his fingers, and he goes, "Oh, Jesus, Daddy, I'll have to get back to you on that one." And he clicks the button, and he goes, and he looks over at you, and he goes, "Okay, Lenny, listen, just know I'm still fucking pissed at you."
Yeah, I fucked up. I realized that. I'll let you finish your conversation then.
He said, Yeah. You get the fuck out of here, fuckhead."
I fucking locked it out. I leave quick.
See ya!
Thank you, Dad.
I think he likes you better than Joey anyway.
I think so too.
So you head out on your daily routes. You got no extra ones today.
Shit.
All right.
I almost died in his office like the psychic.
Curse.
All right. So Walter, what's your day start off like?
I'd say he'd probably get into work maybe like an hour early, try to get there by 11 if his shift starts by noon.
Okay.
I'll try to reach out to Millie at the library, see if he can get in touch with her.
Okay. You call the library, and after a couple transfers, you get through to Millie.
Nice.
Hi, this is Millie.
Millie, it's Walter. How are you?
Oh, hi, Walter. What's up?
Well, I mentioned I'd give you a call in the morning. I'm afraid I don't have the best news that I had hoped for, but I wanted to bring you up to speed regardless. So, it seems that if... Oh, well, I should back it up. I was unable to broker a financial arrangement with the art gallery, unfortunately. But not all is lost there. There were some funds that I was able to acquire for the job itself, which I would happily be able to give you towards the, potentially any legal steps you might need to take, which leads me to my next point. It looks like I'll have to dig a little deeper to really get you any legal leg to stand on here, because the documentation you have is so vague. We might need to find something with your grandfather that proves that he owned it before he passed it on to you. So I guess mostly bad and slightly less bad news today, sadly.
Says, well, so they said they wouldn't give me anything for the statue right now?
Well, without looking into, or without much backing, I'm afraid there's really not much push here. And I gotta be honest with you, because of what you've already endured, let's say, I don't know that pushing back would really be a wise decision. I'd honestly hoped that, hard work and good business practices might have been enough to broker a deal, but it seems that if you want to pursue any more substantial financial gains from this, a legal course of action would have to be the next.
She goes, well, I gotta be honest with you, Walter. I guess it doesn't look good for me, but I've been thinking it over, and if it comes down to it, rather than have the money, I think I'd rather have the statue.
Well, what else did you inherit from your grandfather? Or your uncle, I'm sorry. Were there any, is there anything more to his estate? Anything that we could search that might prove that he owned it before he passed it on to you?
She says, well, this was the only thing that I got. It was just a weird statue.
Okay. Well, the only other thing I could think of would be the letterhead itself. I mean, there was some law office mentioned. I could try to contact them and see if there's any further that I could dig.
She says, oh, yeah. Schroeder and Shapiro, that's right.
Schroeder and Shapiro. Yeah, that sounds exactly like the letterhead I read earlier.
She said that's the company, that's the law firm that contacted me and gave me the statue.
Okay. Well, it's still early in the week and early in the day. I've got a little bit of time before my shift begins. Perhaps I'll reach out to them and see if I can find out anything more on the matter.
That would be great. Anything that could, possibly get that statue back in my house. It might appreciate in value is all. I just want the statue, Walter.
Millie, I do have some concerns about that statue, and I was happy to no longer have it in my possession. Have you ever considered you might be better off without it?
Maybe you're right. Nothing good's come from having it, I suppose.
But the money, on the other hand, let's not give up on that.
You're right, Walter. You're right. And she goes, well, I got to get back to work. I'll talk to you later, okay?
Yeah, certainly. I'll talk to you later on.
All right.
Have a good day.
And she hangs up.
And he probably has a moment of quiet contemplation, as he often does, have a few sips of his coffee. Is Headley due to come in today? He's the one who speaks Russian, right?
Yeah, Headley will be in today.
Okay. Could be fun. I'll see what he has to say. Maybe if he read anything different or anything, compare some notes.
Okay. let's get to when Heather wakes up, which is probably pretty late. Let's say noon.
Yeah.
Noon with a hangover.
Yeah.
Um,
Like bad.
yeah. You did witness something terrible last night with that gypsy woman.
And then the burger place.
The burgers
And
were rough too.
and the burger place. That was
were
horrible
rough,
too.
Just as rough as the murder that I accidentally did.
So that's what, you tried to drink that away, but the images are still in your head, obviously. You wake up and let me have an intelligence roll. This idea of this curse is really on your mind.
Yeah. I need one of those dishes that you guys have. I don't have anything. 41.
And your intelligence is higher than that, right? Pretty high.
Yeah, my intelligence is... Oh my god! My intelligence is 85, so it'd be 42, so I got a hard pass.
Very good, Jenny. Yes, you did.
Numbers!
Winning.
So with the hard pass on your intelligence roll, I'm going to tell you this. There's a couple things going on here. You have a Russian artist, you have a note in Russian, and you have this list of these Russian guys with their phone numbers. Mm-hmm. Both of them, by the way, have listed the same phone number. You weren't there when the guy shouted in Russian and everything kind of stopped. But you're just putting all this kind of Russian stuff together and think that maybe these Russian people might have more information on the statue.
Okay. So now then I have to call Walter. I'm going to call Walter because I want my list back.
Okay. So you're going to have to give Walter a call for that list. And you know what, guys? We're going to end the episode there. All right. Not a cliffhanger this time, really, but,
Not bad.
Can't all be. Did anyone spend luck?
No, not this time.
Not this time? Okay. I'm going to move luck to every third episode.
Oh.
We're just going to make it a little bit tougher on you guys.
Because we're not spending it as much.
Yeah, kind of. All right, guys. Well, it's been a great time hanging out and playing, but we're going to go. So remember, until next time, sanity is overrated. Hey, this is George. Just a quick reminder to like, follow, and review us if you like what you're hearing. You can email us at contact@thatcthulhujohn.com with any comments, and you can follow us on Instagram at thatcthulhujohn.